Yes, all right. With that, we'll call the January 20th Middleton Tourism Commission meeting to order, with the first item on the agenda being the approval of the minutes for our last meeting all the way back on November 18th of last year.
Also move approval.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
We have a second. Someone just throw that out there.
I thought somebody just
Seconded.
Oh, someone.
all right.
It's a little here.
Thank you.
All right, minutes are approved. Next item on the agenda is the annual report from Destination Madison. Welcome.
Thank you.
Destination Madison.
Yeah.
See everybody. Happy New Year.
Sorry to drag you all out here.
Out. And then who wants the clicker?
I was gonna say, yeah, pass it this way, we'll just pass it out on this.
Oh, it's been moved a couple of times. You'll have to start from the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Don't remember if this is, yeah.
Okay, don't look.
Just go to the bottom and you should be able to scroll to the very beginning.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep going like this, so. I'm saying so. Anyway, there's sneak preview. There we go. Boom. Okay. So let me just start by thanking you all for having us out today to give our annual recap. We're really excited because we've got quite a bit to share. As we've been going through this, I was like, poor Maury, she's gonna get bored because we've been keeping her updated throughout the year. So hopefully you're bored because you have a lot of numbers.
I love hearing it over and over.
Okay, great. So we'll just jump in here. You know, I always like to start with a refresher about what is Destination Madison and what we do. You've seen these objectives before, but we are consistently elevating our brands, Middleton, Madison, Dane County as a whole. We want to attract a diverse array of business into our community, whether it's through group business, sports, leisure, travel. We hope when they're here, they have such an amazing time that they're going to come back. So if they're here for sports, they're like, I got to grab my family or my friends and come back. And then we work to inspire and collaborate with our community because, as everybody's heard me say about 1 million times, everything we're selling is outside our door, right? So we're talking about Grace Coffee, or we're talking about Jim's Hotel and so forth. I do spend quite a bit of time advocating. So it's either meeting with elected officials, making sure they understand tourism, making sure how things affect or maybe impact tourism, so we can keep a really healthy and growing tourism community. And then all of us, I think, have this exact same goal, but we want to grow. We want to grow the visitor economy. We want more visitors to come in. We want them to spend more money here. And then unless they can fill some jobs that we have open, then we want them to go home and tell everybody they know that they should be coming to our community. Just a little refresher, these numbers are for 2024 because we won't get our 2025 numbers for another couple of months. But in 24, we had the highest ever in direct visitor spending at $1.55 billion, with the most visitors in the county of 9.2 million. We are just around 19,300 hospitality industry jobs. This is something we continue to work on as a team. Pre-COVID, we were at 22,000, so we're not back to where we were. I don't know, and I know that a lot of people have already changed the way they schedule, the way they hire, because you had to do a shift, right? As we came out of COVID, but we continue to get people into tourism. And then our goal is to keep them in tourism. So if they decide they want to make a job change, we hope they do it within our industry so we can keep them in the industry. And then we did a visitor sentiment survey in the fall of 2024, and we asked them what their satisfaction was when they were in Dane County, and it was 95%, which was extremely higher than the Midwest and the country as a whole. Actually, the company we work with, they're like, we don't always see these kind of numbers. So exceeding their expectations is something that we're doing, because when they're here, they're getting great service. They're having friendly people. If somebody's standing on the corner out here looking a little confused, most likely somebody's going to stop and say, may I help you? And that's exactly what we want. Of that 1.55 billion, this is numbers that we get from Tourism Economics. When we get our report, we ask them to run a report for Middleton as well. But in Middleton, we saw a direct visitor spend of $206.9 million. So really good impact here in Middleton as well. And turn it over to Kate.
Anything else in that way? All right. I am going to give you a bit of an overview of our marketing and brand strategy efforts. So a good place to start is always data. As many of you know who've been with us for a while, everything we do is rooted in data. So all of our decisions based on who we talk to, how we talk to them, how we work to convert them to visitation to Dane County is all informed by data. We're really fortunate that we've been able to invest in both the resident and visitor sentiment study that Ellie mentioned in the last couple of years, but also Zarco, which is the platform we utilize to track patterns of behaviors when people are in town and how they're arriving to town and how they're spending their money. It just helps us be more informed in our content and marketing decisions. So a few call outs, we'll obviously share this entire deck with you. So we're going to share a lot with you, including a lot of links that you can dive into it later time if you'd like. But Ellie mentioned that 95% ranking. Also, we ranked highly, especially for friendliness, park safety, cleanliness, and accessibility. So just calling out some of those key attributes that visitors felt that we jumped out high about. The other thing to call out was specifically with the resident and visitor. We did the resident first, and then we did the visitor. And why that's important is how do you see what the resident thinks of Madison and then what the visitor thinks of Madison? And in a lot of destinations, our competitors are like, it's totally opposite. And what's great about these surveys is what the resident and the visitor felt about our area is very similar. And that's great for us as we platform to create more destination branding work in the future, that there's alignment. Also, from a product perspective, what visitors think Madison is what their residents are delivering on. Another one I want to call out, as you're probably recall from our past conversations, Minneapolis and Chicago are really our true key markets from a leisure perspective. We will continue to focus on those. We're seeing some great traction from the drive market, but in terms of direct flight markets, we've been doing some testing over the last couple of years, and then additional data. And Dallas has really been popping for us. And I'd be curious from a hotel perspective if you're seeing that as well. But given the amount of direct flights that are in daily, although a lot of them are coming through Chicago and driving here, but we have looked at what seasonality, what's driving them here, and how we can find more ways to get them here. So that's been a aha for us in the last years, and an area that we're going to be emphasizing these next year. All right. Sorry, this is finicky for me. Okay. Just going to talk a little bit about some of our marketing. We always are on with paid campaigns, specifically search is on at all times for us. Our paid search impressions were up 50% last year in 2025, and they also generated 626,000 impressions. So we know a lot about the consumer behavior, and we also know how people are finding us is through search. And so what do you do when you're trying to ask a question? You search for it, or even in some ways you even look at AI. So how do we feed those search engines to make sure that they're getting information about our destination out there? Our ads produced over 9.51 million meta impressions, and then our digital display click-through rates were 6 times the industry benchmark, which we're really proud of this past year. I really attribute that to the strong creative that we spent a lot of time building photo video over the last couple of years, and how we're integrating that into our ad campaign. And that generated over 24 million impressions. And then we had some of our videos within CTR or CTV, so Hulu, Disney Plus, and so on. And proud of that completion rate of 98% of those see those videos. You're familiar with our trails, most notably in past years, Madison by Bike and Madison on Tap. We've expanded those this last year. We did our Madison Iconic Eats Trail, which is our social team that ventures to all sorts of restaurants around Dane County. Laura. Oh, thank you, Laura.
Yeah, that's Laura's computer.
So you might want to address that. You know that
It's gone now.
Yeah, right. Totally. So we introduced 2 new trails, Madison Iconic Eats and the Right Madison, which both have done really well already to date. And so just kind of creating more of a suite of trails that not only our visitors can use, but locals. This is a great hook to work with locals to bring their friends and family to town. We collaborated with a local entrepreneur who launched a platform called Gift Blazer. It is like the local version of Giftful. If any of you have teenage kids, you're probably quite familiar. But it's a way to bring together gift ideas from all over different places, and this is locally focused. So we worked with him to create our gift guide for the shopping for the Christmas or the holiday time. So our Speed of Trail saw over 2.1 thousand check-ins in 2025. And then our webpage was viewed over 3.7 million times, which is really great. I will call out, this is a slightly decline from our year before, but as I'm sure everyone who's in marketing knows, traditionally websites across the country or around the world were really at 50% down on average. So we feel pretty proud that this is a very slight decline. But we're not, this is a lot of because of AI. People are not going to websites the way they used to, but we're also acknowledging that and how are we shifting and pivoting our current marketing and ways we're communicating content differently, because it's not as important that people come to the website. If they're interacting with us and getting the content through however they are, wherever their source is, and then they're coming to market, that matters to us most. But we're making sure that we find strong metrics to making sure we're still having success reaching people where they are. But just to call out some of our top performing pages, events, we continue to see that as our #1 page. So our events calendar, always encourage people to put their events on our events calendar, because not only is it the top viewed page, but it's also the top converting page, which means people who come to that page also come and market. Things to do in summer continues to be popular, obviously our homepage, and then events this weekend. So again, that event driven, we actually have a full strategy this year surrounding events and how we move people here to drive people for events, leisure events specifically. Zooming in a bit on Middleton and the exposure that's been created. As Maria and team are really familiar, we created a full Middleton page that not only resides within our website, but we made some changes within the recent months to make sure the exposure was within our main navigation. So it's easily findable, not just by search, but within the main nav. This is a great place for people to see all things Middleton, from attractions to events to links to the blogs. So a really great resource to have it all in one place. Obviously, then the Middleton's throughout the entire website. This is just a sampling of some of the blogs that feature Middleton specifically that have been on our website. And again, not only can you find them within blog pages and featured in our social, but on the Middleton page. And then this also, obviously you'll get this afterwards, but these are links to a lot of those blogs that have some of those featured stories and placements within them. Whole plethora of different things here.
Yeah, following, I'll share a link to their Canva presentation so that you can link.
Yeah.
And then I have a PDF, which obviously isn't linked, which will be attached.
So that'd be wonderful. Thank you, Mark. Something to call to that's something that we've tried to make a better emphasis in the last year or two, and I hope this has been helpful to you, Mari and team, is how I think it's quarterly. Does Christine send you those emails or monthly?
No, it's probably quarterly.
I couldn't recall. That we try to get more of, here's where it's been featured, here's ways you can share it, hopefully providing you with content that's helpful for your work too. Our social channels garnered 27 plus million impressions. So we spent a lot of time on social. And like I said, going back to data, finding people where we know they are based on who our audiences are. We're spending, YouTube has been one of our more up and coming. So that's an area we're focusing on this year because we know that's becoming more and more popular for travel inspiration. We published over 2,000 pieces of social content in 2025, so a busy team, whether that's content that we specifically produced or we work with content creators or influencers to produce for us. And we had over 508,000 engagements in our social post and over 135,000 followers across all of our social platforms. So continuing to find social as a valuable resource for us. Again, why we spend a lot of time in photo and video to make sure we have valuable content to put out there. A few examples of some of the ways Middleton was featured in some of our social within all of those. So again, we'll share this so you can take a closer look at it at a later time. Some of those specific social posts that you will have access and links to post-meeting. One thing we did this year on Instagram is we have an automatic, when people sign on, they get a message every week about their weekly events that are taking place, and Middleton was featured in all of these weeks. The actual broadcast started about midsummer, so going forward, so a lot of good love through that. We found that really successful because people are then planning what they're doing that next weekend. Something specific too is that we worked with local content creators. Really excited that we had some come out to Middleton with a Madison Hype team is what we call them. So working with passionate locals to help tell our story. So that launched, I think, about mid-year, and that's been really great to have other voices and perspectives talk about Madison and the love they have. As you know, we are always looking for ways to leverage the passionate residents that we have and get them to find more ways to bring people here. Big kudos to Rob and Sarah on the PR side. They exceeded their goals with over 228 million PR impressions. So some of those top tier placements included the New York Times article that many of you are familiar with, Travel and Leisure, Saveur Magazine, Wall Street Journal, and then combination, they met with 125 plus journalists and placed 100 stories. So that was a really big win. Some of those clinched 9 USA Today best titles including Best Lakes, Best Recreational Trails, and Best Colleges for sports fans. Anything to add on that? Big wins all across the board. Some of those, again, you can peruse these at your own time, some of those additional pitches and wins. Sarah and Rob would collectively be on channel 15 talking about the great things, and many of the Middleton events were featured here. Also brought in quite a bit of writers and media visits directly to Middleton. Moving on to sales, before I do any questions right off the bat on marketing and branding. The notes is all yours.
You're super high tech.
Well, you know, we did try to put in some slides in there that test your Blu-ray glasses. This one, which I always appreciate that we're trying to help humanity at the same time. So similarly, you'll see some of these at GMDOS if you come to those meetings, but the top blue turquoise teal line is our year-end goal for room nights. The light blue is on the books and the navy is pace target. So it starts off with 2026 for those who are a little bit farther away. We're a little bit behind pace target for 2026, but like ahead for 27 and have plenty of time for those out years to kind of fill in, which we always kind of expected 2026 to be a little softer, I think. And this kind of reiterates it, but it looks at left to book versus tentative. So you can see here a little bit more distinctively that we've got a fair amount of room nights to book in the year for the year in 2026, but then we're way ahead of pace on 2027.
What's going on? Like, what did you book that?
That's a good question. You know, I think like there's some annuals that need to come, but I think there's just been so much uncertainty in the market that it's just slower. And we've seen like some where group block sizes have been smaller because you know, like government can't travel as much, so people are doing less in terms of like the blocks are just generally smaller. So good question. Hotel occupancy, this is for countywide, goes through November 2025 is the line graph. Essentially the whole year was flat on both hotel occupancy and ADR, which I think Ellie agrees with me. I considered that a win if we stayed flat with how much uncertainty that was in like nationally. Now these slides are from tourism economics and to synergize, which it sucks data right out of like a vacuum right out of our system and everybody else that's on the same platforms, and then they work together to compile some of this data, and some of it will just be tourism economics. This slide basically, so this came out in November. We won't get through the end of the year till February, so it's a little bit dated at this point. But basically, they softened their forecast for 25 and 26 with just like a marginal increase in group demand. This slide really takes you through the month by month of what the evolution of the benchmark forecast will be. I'll let you look at some of those at your own leisure, and then you know, this one looks at the current forecast and what the downside would be if things kind of get a little bit worse. So people are pretty cautious in it. It's hard to read from this far out. This is a hotel room demand by segment, and the DMO is in the navy. The total demand is the light blue, and then gray is like the luxury. So group DMO things that we would book, that has trended up a little bit. We are in Madison, we are ahead of most of the Midwest significantly in booking events for groups, which is a really good positive. Luxury softened a little bit from their earlier forecast. But then if you go slow, it starts interlaying slower growth due to inflation. And then really just there's a couple slides that show that luxury hotels are doing better than economy and other kind of lower budget hotels. And we see that most illustrated on this graph, where mid-scale and independence and economy are really struggling. And that kind of fits with who's doing well in our country, where like people at the lower end of the economic spectrum are really cutting back on travel because they don't have any exposable dollars at this point. Next we kind of look nationally. We're going to kind of bring it to like what we've been working on. Like 2 years ago, we really invested in building our awareness and our B2B sales, going to over 30 different trade shows representing everybody. We've, sometimes I got to be careful what I ask for, because Kate's team is like, hey, what about this? What about this? And I'm like, I can't handle any more ideas right now. But our awareness has gone up off the charts. We're in PCMA, Convene Magazine, all kinds of things. Our videos have built awareness. We've had people come up to us after our videos and say, oh, I didn't realize Wisconsin was so pretty, like we want to be interested. So even if they're not coming through us, we are definitely having an impact on RFPs received for our area. The top left, we worked with Kate and the team, and we came up with a pull tab to engage meeting planners in our booth. That's been really well received. They almost all win prizes because our team won't bring the loser pull tabs. They want everybody to win, but it is what it is. And then in Middleton, we sent 260 lead, booked over 10,000 room nights for the areas through our convention sales side. 5 that were in Middleton, most of them at Jim's property. And then, we continue to have a really strong focus on retaining citywides that build compression for our area. Even people stay out there because those are so incredibly hard to replace. World Dairy Expo, Ironman, like the things from like a welcome standpoint have gone up. Fitting, people in to different blocks with different events going on has been a challenge. So our team works really hard to provide good services to these. WIA, even though we last year reported that we signed like a large extension, we've talked about this at the innkeepers meeting, where like Boys State basketball, even though it goes through what year is it,
32.
2032.
Yeah.
The Big Ten hockey has changed their stance, where like the highest seeded team has to host the championship, which falls on boys basketball weekend. Wisconsin's been able to get us a waiver through this year, but starting next year, they're not going to give us a waiver. So if the Badgers are the highest team standing, we have put in several contingencies, starting a day early, all kinds of things, and UW has been fantastic. But if they host, then we have to move the tournament around, and WIA is willing to go through that once to see how it goes. But they put on the Resch Center on hold through 28 and beyond in case we end up hosting in 27 and it doesn't go well. So like our welcome, our sponsorships that we've been partnering with the Hotel and Lodging Association have been like really crucial to kind of keeping that line open. We've kept state hockey here in Dane County. That has been really successful in Middleton. Now Middleton is it's reached its seating capacity, so we're also still trying to replace that, keep that in Middleton as like the 4th year of that agreement kind of comes up. More on the sports commission side, Moraine and Brandon especially worked really hard on kind of reformatting how our venues look to make them more attractive. It used to be a listing to make it easier to do searchable things for people that just are coming to our site and looking where they want to go or where they want to host events. We've cleaned up some of the back end, added a couple features and amenities on the back end that make it a little bit more searchable. So that's a really nice upgraded feature there. Sports commission sales were pretty good. We booked over 5,000 room nights. 7 were booked at a Middleton facility. A lot of hockey stuff that we're able to do here. And one thing I would add is we're looking at refocusing our prospecting this year. where we typically have had a top 25 account. We're trying to do those by area this year, so we really can take advantage of CXC cross country skiing as that new building is finally getting built and things like that. So we know hey, that it might not happen in a year, but these are the top prospects that we want to go after. So you're all familiar with the youth grant that helps fund access to sports programs. Last year, we awarded over $46,000. It's funded by the Ironman Foundation, Burpees for Bucks, and our pickleball tournament. That deadline is January 30th. If you know any groups that need to get in for this round, we typically see a few less applicants in Middleton, but we'd love to have people that need help because getting into sports is expensive and hard to do. I talked about the WIA and how important our collaboration has been to keep those well. Hopefully you guys are getting them as well to share with your hotels when we do host hockey and help enhance that wellness. We have a Good Morning Sports, which is our way to build networking events with locals, sports organizers, so we can encourage them to bring more sporting events here. And then also we have a newsletter that promotes those and some of the other offerings that are going on. So yeah, that Maureen, do you want me just to keep clicking for you?
Yeah, thank you. Such service. So on the partnership front, we focused on new relationships and sponsorships. I think for years we've been working on really making sure that when we market Madison and Dane County as an inclusive and welcoming destination, that's the experience that our visitors receive. And so we've done a lot of different touch points, educational things, but what was really exciting is in 2025, we launched our LGBTQ plus advisory committee. And so we took 4 different meetings, and every meeting they looked at a different aspect of our organization to make sure that our marketing was authentic, to make sure that the groups that we were inviting to the area would be a good fit, partnership, a bunch of things. So we're really proud of that effort and see that continuing certainly going forward. As part of that, there was also a campaign called Madison Queer Voices, which again is asking people that identify in the LGBTQ plus community what they like to do in the area and having them be the experts and sharing that back out. We not only put our time and effort, but also our sponsorship dollars into making inroads, having relationships, and supporting the LGBTQ plus organizations in our area, as well as investing in kind of the sales side of it with some trade shows and sponsorships there. We spent some time in Middleton, which was awesome. So thank you for having us. I think these community partner visits that we have annually are just such a high ROI for our team, and making sure that what we do, for those that don't know, is we invite people from each department in our organization. A lot of times it might be our newer staff, so that they get out in Middleton and see the experiences, the amenities, businesses, and they bring all that information and enthusiasm kind of brave-worthy back and talk to our team. And we just see that those types of recommendations then go into a lot of the content that we do or the social that we're doing. It's just the firsthand experiences that really help. We celebrated and strengthened our hospitality workforce. Elliot talked about workforce earlier, but we look for ways to celebrate the industry, and we do that through our Destination Madison Awards. And Barry Levinson has been a nominee, a finalist for a number of years. So love that Middleton representation, but really proud to show people in different areas of their career in the hospitality industry and kind of tell their story through that event. We also, back one more.
Gotcha.
Thank you. Other things that we do for the industry, creating awareness. We have a hospitality job board. We're present at area career fairs to say, here are the opportunities in the industry. Have you ever considered the industry? And to show that it's not just entry-level jobs. These are careers that we want people to grow in. So we've done that. And then the other thing that we did this past year was trying to support the industry through a immigration rights and resources webinar. So we know that immigration, there's been a lot of talk, questions, things going on, and just wanted to be present for our partners in a way that provided them with a real tool. And so we worked with other organizations in the area, with a lawyer who was very well versed on just providing clear guidance to local businesses, and felt like that was useful a year ago, and just reshared that out recently. It still proves to be useful. This was really cool this past year. So we hosted a rideshare appreciation celebration. We acknowledged that
the rideshare drivers, they have really high touch points with visitors. And so we wanted to host an event. We did it at Dane County Regional Airport over 2 days. And we did it for a number of reasons. One, it helped us establish a connection with who they are. So we got their contact information. So we can kind of have ongoing communications, but celebrated and thanked them for what they do for our visitors. We provided them with information on here are the high volume times when we would love for you to be out on the road driving, because we know that there might be limited capacity and we want to make sure that people are able to get from point A to point B. And we also provided them with guides and decals. So again, saying, you know, you can assume when someone gets in rideshare, they might say, what's going on this weekend? Or what would you suggest that I do? And we never want it to be like, nothing, or, you know, we have very robust information. And so being able to provide them with information to have within their vehicle, but also a window cling with a QR code has been really successful. We're going to plan on doing that again in 26. We supported our federal airport employees. I know we mentioned this, I think, during our last quarterly meeting, but unfortunately with the government shutdown this past year, really wanting to step up in a way that showed our airport employees that we appreciate them. They were going to work when they weren't getting paid. And we know that if they decided not to show up, how that would negatively impact our visitors' experience. And so what seems like maybe something small, but I think was really impactful was we sent them meals and worked with our local businesses. There's a picture of a bunch of pizzas, coffee, a variety of things just to say thank you. We see you, we appreciate you. And I think what was really successful, one is the feedback that they sent and the photos was really heartwarming and seeing that that's made a real impact with them. And so that was really grateful, but then also seeing our community come together and see, you know, as much as Destination Madison did, we also saw some of our local partners decide to do things themselves. So kind of seeing that momentum there. And then we boost, I thought no, you're good. We boosted partner engagement by 30.5%. Really proud of this because it meant that, you know, we got out from behind our screens and got out into the community. We were attending events, we were hosting events, going on partner visits. I think certainly when it comes to strengthening our collaboration, this was the first year that we had quarterly meetings set up with all of our 17% partners, so Middleton, Fitchburg, and Verona, and felt like the reception to that was great. I mean, I think when we talked about, do we want to do that again in 26, it was a yes. We rotated to different locations, and so that's something that we certainly want to continue. And then as part of that, I think Kate might have mentioned, but increasing our communication. So those quarterly emails to say, here's the content that we're looking at, and here are the themes that we're going to be writing about in the next 3 to 4 months so that we can better align the story that we're telling, and if there's ways that we can what we have. And we look forward to 2026 and beyond with a few new additions and a little funky. Jamie's a bit lost on the click, so this is really building
There we go.
here. Okay, thank you. Continuing guide distribution, high visibility at key locations. We've been talking to the airport to see how we can increase where we're located and what type of experience that is for visitors. So that's something we're working on. Zartico data, again, making sure that with all the great information that we have, how can it best support the work that Middleton's doing? So providing a report there. Photo videos, this is brand new in 26, and this is something that we have not done before. So it's really exciting that we'll be working on a dedicated photo and video shoot with Mari and team in Middleton. While it is such a value add for Middleton, it's also very value added to us because we're all going to have these assets and they're going to be beautiful and we'll be able to infuse them throughout all of our content. So really excited about that. And then the Middleton Spotlight is again ensuring that we have dedicated Middleton featured content that is on our website and our socials in the type of format that you would prefer. Working with the team on that. And that is what we have.
One more senior day.
Yeah. Are there any questions that you can answer on any parts of this?
Like we said, we'll send it out too, because we know there's a lot of data in there with many clickable links.
I look forward to digging into that.
Mhm.
It's much appreciated.
Yeah,
Great, that's awesome.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
I will throw in a request that we would love to take a photo, if it's okay, just super quickly. We were trying to post that we were, you know, out with you in Middleton. I think the post will come a little bit later, but if you would be open to that, would you mind if we jump up and take a quick photo?
That's fine.
Okay.
Laura, why don't we pause Don't stop, just
You
pause.
can do a selfie this step long this time.
Okay, we're back and being recorded and we are on to our grant requests. So I'll go ahead and do these because again, Jim can't vote. And we have with us today, we have a representative for we're gonna jump to number 2, Igbabi College. Did I pronounce that correctly?
It's Ibubi College.
Oh.
Are you able to hear me?
That's
Hello?
interesting.
See the call?
Lisa spoke earlier.
Yeah.
You might need to turn your volume up, Melissa.
Okay.
I can hear you. I just don't. Mari, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Talking, you can't hear her either.
Oh, Lisa, we can't hear you either. Okay.
Yeah, I think
Let's see
that
what's going on.
Melissa, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Lisa. Yes.
Okay, I think we can hear each other when we're virtual, but I don't think that they can hear us.
I don't believe so. No.
There we go.
Can you hear
Hello?
us now?
Yes.
Yeah.
So during the Destination Madison presentation, could you hear it at all?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, the speaker was working then. Okay, thank goodness.
Yeah, totally painful.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna jump to number 2, which is Igbabi College. Did I pronounce that correctly?
It's Ibubi College.
Oh,
And Debo, I don't know, do you want to present or?
You're
oh,
muted.
you're
Yes,
Gotcha.
you're muted.
I can go ahead and just read what the request is, and then any question, and then you can add to it, and then answer any questions.
That would be
Um,
great. Yes.
So Igbubi College Old Boys Association, North American branch, is hosting its annual reunion June 25th through the 28th of this year at the Marriott. You anticipate 200 people with 145 contracted in the room block. We did in your packet, you'll see that there is a budget attached. They're requesting, $3,000 in the tourism development and marketing grant to put toward AV rentals. And just as a reminder, destination partnership grants, we usually strictly do like $10 per room, but the tourism marketing and development grant can be any number you choose. And so even if they're only expecting 145 people, you could essentially do more than $1,450 as a grant because they're applying through that grant. And that's for new business because they've never been here before. So does anybody have any questions? Because we are gifted with 2 representatives for this grant request. We hardly ever get anyone.
Yeah, I guess there's one point of confusion in the submission. It said the $3,000 would be used for AV, and then there's like a footnote that said it may also be used to pay the keynote speaker and others. So it got confusing to me as to how much is actually.
Well,
When do those decisions get made? And how much is actually being used?
so on the budget that they have, let's see here, AV.
Goes up above a little. Yeah, towards the top, AV.
Yeah, it was anticipated to be 5,000. And then let's see, they have speaker travel.
It was a footnote or something down on one of the pages. I don't know.
Well, and it might have even been mine
Oh.
because for this grant, you can use it toward AV, speaker fees, speaker transportation. So let's say AV came in under $3,000, they could still use like another $1,000 toward the speaker. Is what I was saying. If we were to award the full 3,000, they absolutely would have the expenses to use it. And again, this is a new piece of business. I'm not sure if it listed whether or not there's possibility for this to be repeat. Yes, opportunity for a multiple year. And one of the things we like to use the grant program for is to help a new piece of business establish itself. We don't necessarily give grants to events in perpetuity. But to give it in the first, especially 3 years when you're growing, we've always seen that helps the event eventually pay for itself. But everybody needs a little help in the beginning when they're starting an event in a new location. But is there anything you guys would like to share with us?
Lisa has a question.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lisa has a question.
Yeah, sorry if I missed it on here. Is this the first time you're holding this event, or have you held it in the past?
This is, oh,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead, Melissa. Go ahead, Melissa.
Sure. This is the 20th annual reunion. It's an
Okay.
all-class reunion, but it's the first time it's being held in Wisconsin. And
Oh, okay.
so and it's the first time that my husband Debo and I have been asked to host this, but we're very excited to be able to bring people to Wisconsin, to Middleton, to Madison, to really let them experience what we love about being in this area of the Midwest.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? Did you guys want to add anything about your event? Obviously, I gave a very brief summary of what to expect. Are you, like, when you're marketing this, are you telling people to check out the area before or after? Do you think that some people will stay an extra day or so?
Yes, and I'll let Debo handle this one.
Yes, as Melissa said, this is international high school reunion. People will be coming from Africa, people will be coming from Europe, and also from Canada. And one of the attraction is that when they gave us this right, is that they want to see the area and they want where, and a lot of people, and some of them are maybe shopping aficionados where they will want to shop, they will want to visit the areas, and that is the attraction of Middleton. That Middleton is a small town in the outskirts of Madison. It's safe. It has a lot of shopping malls and also a lot of restaurants. Some of the people are very keen on uh, traditional Midwestern cuisine. So this is part of our marketing strategy to them that got us the rights to at least host this event in Wisconsin. A lot of people that will be coming. Some of them have maybe 90% have never been to Wisconsin, and this would be a great opportunity to showcase the tourism potential of Wisconsin, especially Middleton area. And yeah, and this is, and hopefully some of them are also will extend, will, even though it's a 4 day event, some of them have shown commitment to stay extra days. A lot of the international travelers will be arriving on Monday and they will not be leaving until the next Monday or Tuesday. So it's an opportunity, apart from the event, it's an opportunity for them to go out of the hotel, to go out of the vicinity of the conference to visit the tourist attraction of Middleton and to show them around too.
Sounds like a nice little economic boost for the area.
Mhm.
Do we have any
I have
questions?
no questions. As always, how is that amount an average amount that we would be giving for events like this? I mean, it seems to vary everything.
So we've done it different ways, and how we've often calculated it is, yeah, we've done like $10 per room night. But also we bumped it up when there was, maybe something was open to the public. Or we bumped it way up when we knew it was going to be multiple days and there was going to be a lot of economic development in the area, like Job's daughters. They were here for like 7 days and they went shopping and eating out like every single night. And every single person downtown was asking me why all these little girls were in the area. And so that one we gave a large grant to because we knew that Middleton would benefit. This kind of business, yes, there are 145 contracted room nights with potential maybe of a few more being added for shoulder nights, obviously. There's definitely a benefit to economic development, not just in Middleton, but the area. And we do kind of see ourselves as partners with the Driftless area, which I would imagine they'd be going to Cave in the Mountains and Taliesin and House on the Rock, that kind of thing. And also it being an international piece of business, which would be nice for us to be able to kind of say on our website that we've had, you know, because we've now had a steampunk convention, you know, we've got different types of things. And with the potential of being multi-year. And again, if they had been here already multiple years, they wouldn't be able to apply for a grant that much higher than their room night count. But since this is what the grant program was built for, was to attract brand new business that has the potential for either repeat or growing.
Yeah, I mean, it strikes me though, this is a one-off. I mean, if this has been going on for 20 years and it's international people, it's probably every year traveling to different places. So it may be great for the one time, but I don't see this as the beginning of what would be a long-term relationship, given the nature. I mean, where have you guys met for the last 20 years? Like, to all different places, right?
All different places in the US and Canada.
Okay.
Mhm.
I guess
So
that's just-
sorry, the association is actually the North American branch with members in the 90% of the members are US based, with some in Canada, but we invite guests too from abroad and from Europe, from Africa. So, but 90% of the members are actually based in the US.
So have more likelihood. Let's drive back to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine with this. I don't know what your opinions are.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
Looks like a good piece of business. I mean, for the community.
For the community, yeah.
Lisa, Jose, do you have anything to add? Or questions?
I can't really hear. I can't really hear any of the discussion that's going on in the meeting. Everyone's kind of muted, but I think it would be a wonderful opportunity for people from all over the world to see how amazing the area is. And I don't see how, if they were going to be here for that long, that they wouldn't spend that much money in the area. So in my opinion, it's a no-brainer to approve the grant.
I'll make a motion to approve the $3,000 for this event then.
I
Schaefer will
second.
Any discussion? Then all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Sorry. All right, you guys have been approved for a $3,000 grant. I will follow up with a letter, and that letter will have a criteria for a post-event report, which usually is things like what was your final room count, which you can get from Jim, and some other little things that we like to ask about the hotel experience. And so yeah, I will follow up soon with your letter, but congratulations. And we hope you guys have a wonderful event here in Middleton.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, let's,
Line on a microphone on that?
the whole thing is a
Seems
mic.
loud, right? Seems
Well,
loud
they
on
said they
here, but
can't.
if they can hear us,
Does your computer need to be turned up? That shouldn't be affecting it at all.
yeah.
I
Lisa,
just
can you
feel
hear
like some people are mumbling there where I just can't hear what some of the discussion that's happening around the table is.
Everyone please articulate.
Okay.
I think the speaker was behind the basket of goodies.
Yeah, that didn't help
That
things.
didn't help.
Yeah.
Well, let's just carry on with grants and then we'll move on to our regularly scheduled program. How's that sound?
Fine.
So we will remind and go to the Wisconsin Broadcasting Association. So the WBA Awards for Excellence, this is their annual dinner that they have at the Marriott. They're just asking for $1,000 marketing sponsorship, which is what we've given to them in the past. And they put our logo on like their program and some marketing stuff, and I think we're on a banner. He also is very nice about, he brings a professional photographer to shoot it because he picks a theme. And then he shares with me photos that don't have people in it so that I can use on the website to be like, hey, look, this is what it can look like. You know, because there's nothing that helps sell something better than a staged photo. And so he's very good about doing that for us as well. This does not have a lot of overnight stays. This falls in more like the Bachfest era of like, this is a marketing sponsorship. But yeah, he's anticipating 90. He actually had 178 last year. I don't know what good times they got up to.
Yeah, it's interesting. They tend to schedule a contract that 90 and then they end up exceeding it. So I don't know. I think it depends upon which stations are anticipated to win awards and then maybe that's
100% that affects it. Yeah. So yeah, so last year with 178 with 1,000, they actually exceeded what we would normally give for $10 a room night. And if they make that 90, I mean, obviously that's just shy. And so this is just one of those nice sponsorships that we can do for, you know, a piece of business that brings the Marriott a lot of money through their banquet, but also with the people who are traveling, you know, they're going shopping, they're going out when they're here too.
Well, it's early May. Could still get a snowstorm. They'll get locked in for a minute.
You never know. Don't say things like that. All right.
Yeah, this seems simple, but like a no-brainer to me. But
Well, do we have a motion to approve?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Any questions?
Nope.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 All those nay? Okay, approved. I'll let Kyle know. He'll be ecstatic. He really does apply for this thing like way in advance. He fills out all the paperwork. He never takes it for granted.
Yeah.
He's very happy to receive it.
Kyle's very organized.
All right, the next one is the Wisconsin Library Association. And I put this under tourism development grant. In the past, I think we've also done destination partnership, but they should have been under tourism development. But this will be the third year. So in 2 years, the last 2 years, we've given them $5,000 each year to host their convention here in Middleton. And they're requesting $5,000 again this year for their conference, October 20th through the 23rd. Their hotel block is 590, and they do reach their hotel block each year. So even if you go by $10 a room night, they're exceeding that. Last year it was 575. This would be their third year. So after this year, they would be aged out and go into a destination partnership grant. This event, it's technically well established. But they bring in a lot of speakers and a lot of education forums, and that's where a lot of this money goes to. They have requested that it be a flat 5,000 and not based on room count. Because they have exceeded the 500 the last 2 years, I'm comfortable with that. Normally I would say no, because the room count is the incentive for the meeting planner to make that number, but they have exceeded that each year. Any
But what was
questions?
their reasoning to ask for the flat amount then, if they're so sure they're gonna fill up the rooms?
So I don't know if people remember 2 years ago when this came to us. So the first time they applied, we tried to base it off of row numbers for the first year. They were very upset. The second year, we conceded to a flat fee. And so that's what she's asking for again this year. It's entirely up to you. I mean, she's going to exceed it, so it doesn't matter if we say $10 room night, if you want to do it that way, so that you're more consistent, because most of our grants are based off of that, but
Although I can't vote, can I add information to it?
you can add information.
Okay, so just to clarify too, Jose, it's not just a matter of her wanting to achieve the 500 to get the $5,000 award from us. If they don't hit a minimum of like 480 room nights, they've got to pay my hotel what's called attrition damages for underperformance in their block. So they are financially obligated to fill a minimum of 500 in that block.
Tough.
Yeah, so
They're gonna wanna do
they
that.
will make sure
Yeah.
these people don't leak into Madison and stay at a Madison hotel, because if they stay at the Holiday Inn up the street, they're gonna be paying me for those room nights that don't come to the hotel. So, just wanted to add that.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
are good about their Friday, they have a free afternoon, and so Laura creates a specialized flyer for them with like restaurants that are open for lunch on that Friday. Which you wouldn't think that you would need that, but sometimes in October there's some weird hours going on, or a restaurant might decide not to do lunch anymore. So she puts that together for them. Last year, Maggie also designed a special bookmark for them. And this is the cool part, it only cost us $50 because she designed the whole thing and then we just printed it online.
So awesome.
So it was a really nice, like,
She's making an hour.
I know, it's like a really specialized, like little customized piece that ended up not costing us very much, so. I don't, if nobody else has any questions, I'll call for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the flat $5,000.
Jose, you're gonna second?
Sure.
Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Hi.
Hi.
That was all of you, so I don't need to say nay. Actually heard everybody that time. Okay, so that's everything with grants. Everybody will be so happy. And I already have one more grant request in my inbox right now. It's for something in 2028. Which makes me excited because we don't get a lot of long-term bookings.
Yeah.
And that's going to come up because one of the things I'm going to update you guys about is grants. So first off, I want to talk about the STAR report, which I received today. Occupancy for December, and this is 2025, obviously, it was down 4% from last December. The year to date was down 2.8. And the running 12 months was down 2.8. ADR in December was down 1.6% from the year before. Year to date, it was up 3.5%, and running 12 months up 3.5%. Revenue and RevPAR are the same exact numbers for us. So revenue was down 5.6% in December from last December. Year to date, it was up 0.6%, and running 12 months up 0.6%. So December was not great, which I'm sure you guys will fill me in on in a bit. And I wanted to do this before the hotel updates because if you guys wanted to speak to that. But grant updates, I haven't given you guys a lot of grant updates in the past to let you know how much money we have. And I thought that every once in a while I should start doing that because we always come in under. This is the last year that we pay the CXC Outdoor Community Center $50,000. So they received that under the destination partnership. And then we also have Bachfest for 2,000, Ice Age Trail, which we approved last fall. That is 5,000. NITA's Governor Conference is 2,500, and the Wisconsin Track Coaches Association conference, which is coming up, is 5,000. So in total, we have already allocated $64,500 in destination partnership grants, not including what we did today, for 2026. Today we would be adding 1,000, because that was the Broadcasting Association. Right now, we had, as of, this morning, we had nothing allocated under tourism and marketing development, but now we have 8,000 from that bucket. And we do have hockey sled championships, which was awarded $7,500 as long as it still moves forward. We've had several sport events that ended up canceled, and so we didn't pay out the grant.
That WeDo program that you mentioned, is that one for January? Do you have the event dates on there, or is that one for
I don't have the date on it.
March?
It's probably March.
If it's the one in March, they canceled.
I will double check that here.
Yeah, that one was unfortunate.
Okay. So that just gives you a little bit of an idea, because I feel like sometimes when we're taking into consideration with grants, it's important to have criteria and policy, but sometimes I also feel like we stick to it so much when we also need to think about the fact that we're allocating these grant funds to bring in as much business as possible. Again, I would tell you if I thought something was not financially balanced. I've had conversations like that in the past where someone applied for an astronomical amount of money, and we were like, that's not at all what would work here. But anyway, I'm also going to be updating the applications this year and the descriptions. One of the feedback I receive is that people get confused doing the application when it's just like a partnership, because if it has nothing to do with room nights, especially like a Stone Horse Green event. So I'm going to make separate applications. And that shouldn't be a big deal. I kind of, instead of want to do fillable PDFs online, I kind of want to do it like forms, and then it autofills to me, because fillable PDFs aren't really working on Apple products. That's why sometimes you'll see a grant application where it cuts it off. It was probably filled out on an Apple product. That's what we've discovered. That's it, guys. That's all for my updates. Other than the fact that I will be getting a hold of you, we have to reschedule the March meeting because it's the same day as our WITCOT conference, or our statewide governors conference. So I'll be reaching out to you about that, and talking to you more about the tourism vehicle. So yes, that's the end of mine.
Range Rover.
Don't worry, people. Don't say things like that, because then I get emails.
This is,
Thank you for being sensitive about
We're
the
gonna
Apple
help.
stuff. I tried booking a hotel yesterday in Milwaukee, and 4 times, every time it said pay, bounced me back to the same form. I had to refill it in completely.
That's fine.
I finally said, screw, there was a hotel site, and I finally went back to Expedia and did it through them, and it was cheaper.
And the
And it worked.
hotel had
It
to
worked.
pay the fee.
Yep.
I hope I didn't book 4 rooms,
Okay, take it away.
Yeah, hotel updates. December was weaker than what we had hoped for, and weaker than the year prior. We were missing one conference that we hosted last year, which is the Wisconsin Government Finance Officers Association. So that's pretty much the chunk that we were missing from December. But I feel like transient demand was down overall as well for us in December. We just, it didn't really matter what rate we put out there. We'd just be selling rooms for less and gaining the same occupancy. So it's kind of just trading down at that point.
Does UW do a December commencement?
Yes, I believe that they do.
I know our commencement numbers were down in May. Could that have been one of our
Could be-
issues in
Could be
December?
part of it. Could be part of it. I mean, the commencement, like the December one, although we might get some from it, it's not anything like.
Yeah, the compression is
Yeah,
not
yeah,
really
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it's just smaller.
But to that point too, if it is filling up downtown, then that would force the other demand for the city out to us. And I just didn't feel the demand. So it's hard to put a finger on exactly what happened there, other than, like I said, I know we were missing that one conference, which was around 200 room nights for us, which is significant in the month of December when we're talking such small numbers in total.
What is interesting, if you're talking about UW, having spent my whole career there, the student population now is over 10,000 more than it was 10 years ago.
Wow.
And so that graduation numbers over the last 5, 6 years are going to progressively keep going up by thousands.
Love it.
And maybe some hope.
Yeah, I mean, that's really all I have for updates. You know, January is going pretty much how every January does for us. So we've got our kind of our annuals that come back every year. That's about it. I'm still waiting on the football schedule to be released. I've heard on the 27th it's going to occur.
Well, and didn't they drop Pitt and added Eastern
Eastern
Michigan?
Michigan, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, when you didn't think the schedule could get worse.
Yeah, it's pathetic, honestly. And, you know, unfortunately, you know, we missed out this last season on hosting the Washington Huskies for their first trip. Again, due to the schedule being released so late last year, you know, you got a bird in the hand. I've got to put a conference on the books. If they want to sign with me at some point, the rubber's got to hit the road. And it turned out that the dates I booked were a home football game. So they ended up the Madison Marriott South. They had a terrible experience. The hotel was literally calling us on Friday night because they realized they had like half as many chafing dishes as they needed. I mean, it was so
If
it's
you've
rough.
never done a football team
Oh yeah,
hosting,
Yes,
it's
they're gonna have
a
enough
whole
food.
different
food was running out,
Yeah.
equipment's running out, every detail. It's very, very difficult to pull off successfully, and it's looking like we're probably going to miss out this year on Michigan State. My best guess is Michigan State's here the weekend of I think the 4th or the 5th of October, and I had to do the same thing. Put Wisconsin Early Childhood on the books. It's a great program, and
Yeah.
you know the revenues are higher for early childhood, so it's not like I'm really missing out on anything. As a hotel, it's just unfortunate that I can't have both.
Yeah, get that a different.
Exactly.
That's what you want.
Any of the home dates and the away dates earlier in the game, I don't care who's coming. I just need to know when we're going to be home and when we're going to be on the road.
Yeah.
Then I can place business around those weekends and go after every football team. So
They know that.
they
know the dates.
Yeah. So it is very frustrating. I met with today. I toured USC football. They'll be coming the weekend of the 23rd, 24th, I believe, of October. So that's in the bag. They'll be coming. I've got a few space challenges on that Friday afternoon for a conference that's moving out, but they're willing to work with me on it. So that'll be interesting. Be a good one.
Todd?
I don't have a whole lot to add to that, I guess. Yes, December was a little disappointing this year. And like you said, I think January is shaping up pretty much the way we were expecting it to. We had a hockey tournament canceled, but we did manage to get another block in 2 of the hotels. So it almost netted out for us. But, you know, for the full year 2025, 2 of my 3 hotels did better than last year, and in some, at least at the one, by quite a bit.
Nice.
And one that just fell just short of prior year. None of them came close to hitting budget. So, but
But we all knew that.
Yeah.
We knew that going in that the budgets being set for us were higher than they should be.
Hey, you know, a question I have, because you guys keep talking about comparing this year against last year, but what if last year was the worst year on the planet? That means this year is the second worst year on the planet. It's kind of good night to know, you know, longer statistics over the last 5 years.
well, and
How
what,
does this rate within that group within it?
like when we came out of COVID,
Yeah,
everyone was comparing numbers to 2019. No one considered 2020 and 2021.
yeah,
And since 2022, we've only been going up.
yeah.
Although I would say 25. I haven't got my numbers yet for 25, but I'm going to guess
Well,
it's a tiny incline or almost the same over the course of the whole year. Because there were last year, like you were saying, that one piece of business in December. Well, that was a rotating one.
Yep.
We had 2 or 3 government conferences last year, like municipality things through like Bill and Lori, and we gave them all our grant money. They're all tax exempt, so we didn't receive any hotel tax lots from it.
Yeah.
But the hotels were able to actually book business in like winter months, which was really good. When I do my annual report, you'll see multiple years. I go to 2019 and then I skip COVID because it's pointless to talk about COVID just to I don't know, like feel bad again. And I'm going to start like not even looking at 2019 anymore because we've surpassed 2019 anyway. People always go, well, what about pre-COVID? And I'm like, pre-COVID's done.
No, but you at least not have 3 years
Yeah.
past COVID that you can at least do an average and then go into the 4th year comparing 3 years.
Yeah.
Because it's nicer to me to see those trends as opposed to the annual blips, you know.
Yeah. So how the STAR report goes, it goes annually because that's what we're all paying attention to because we knew what last year was.
Yeah.
But the annual report that I'll submit will give you data so that you can actually kind of see how the needle works. It will be annual, it won't be monthly because that would look insane.
I'm not in the industry, so it just gives me a sense of trends.
But no, December was hard all along for like across the state. And I'm not sure why. Because we actually had snow. I'm wondering if northern Wisconsin did pretty well because we actually had snow. People could go up there and do some things.
Well,
But-
so far, we're double our normal snowfall for the year.
I know, everybody go out there.
Happened
and
in
drop
that
their
one,
snow.
right?
Right,
Beginning of-
3 weeks.
Yeah.
So you were saying that 2 out of 3 of your hotels exceeded last year, and one just barely fell short.
Yeah, on top line.
We exceeded budget by 170,000, which is peanuts. So we just eked it out, which is great. And we're budgeted for a 2.8% increase this year with only 1% of that coming in rooms and 1.8 coming in catering. So that's the smallest increase in budget that I've seen since we kind of got back to business in 2022, 2023.
It's smarter to be conservative.
It is. And we saw what happened mid-year this year with the booking pace dropping through the floor, you know, with all the uneasiness and all the unrest and all the uncertainty. And that's why WEDA canceled for March, is because they think the federal funding is going to be pulled. So all that stuff. We do have municipal clerks coming back this year, the week of Labor Day.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down.
But yeah, so overall, to your point, it sounds like a pretty decent year other than the budgets they put on you. And we had a pretty decent year this year too, but again, modest increases for next year just because of the world.
Okay. Well, that's everything.
And by
right now.
next year, I mean this year. It's still gonna be next year till I get to like
Yeah.
March.
Yeah. I understood.
Uh-huh.
We understood. Okay, so that completes everything. If anybody has any questions or comments, speak now. Or forever hold your peace.
I presume when you're looking at the March meeting, you're probably gonna move it up or back a week.
I'll send out a
It's the
Google
same.
form to ask,
Yeah.
yeah.
Some options to pick from.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to do it on a Tuesday. It just always seems to have worked the best with everybody. People have fewer Tuesday obligations.
For me too, because the council is always on Tuesday.
Would anybody like to make a motion to adjourn our meeting?
So move.
The second.
Second,
All those in favor?
I.
Hey, fantastic. Good night, everybody.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
guys. Oh,
Thank you.
thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you all. Lisa.